Hi everyone, welcome to ELI, the place where you get your daily dose of inspiration for entrepreneurship. And today we have with us Mr. Vimal Panchwani, founder of AgriVijay, empowering farmers with renewable energy. Vimal is a graduate of Symbiosis Institute of International Business and has worked for companies such as Bisleri, Agribolo, Ugao, Systema Bio before starting his own venture in 2020. Hi Vimal, welcome to ELI.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Priya, for allowing me to share my thoughts and the vision about agriculture.
I'd request you to introduce yourself to our audience, please.
Yes, so basically, I'm a BTech and an MBA agribusiness graduate from Symbiosis. And after that, I have an industry experience of around 9 years. I have worked with various multinational companies and organizations. And having built around three startups for other founders in the agri-tech social impact space, I come from a background where I am more inclined towards agri-tech and social impact and working on ground. And I have been into commercial angle or perspective. I've been starting the commercial departments for various organizations from zero to the peak where they are today, and as they have grown as a brand. So after that, I thought we'll do something of my own. And in COVID, we witnessed the wave of startup, and we realized that it's a high demand of becoming independent now. So we got an idea that farmers were dependent on fossil fuels for long now, like firewood and diesel. If you realize, even today they are dependent on that. So my mother was always inclined towards doing something in terms of commercial aspect. So we decided to venture into a startup ecosystem with agri.
Now, tell us about AgriVijay. What is the problem statement that you're solving with this venture?
So the problem has always been there. To be honest, the problem has always been there. Now, farmers have always been dependent on fossil fuels. So if you go to any farmer's farm or to visit any farmer, you will find a diesel genset lying there because it will run their electric water pumps. It will run their agri equipments which requires electricity or requires an energy access on the farm. And you will also witness firewood used by a rural woman, which is used for cooking purpose. So these two fossil fuel will you will always witness in any farmer's household or a rural household, or any vicinity which involves farmer or agriculture perspective. So when I thought that the dependency is huge, and in what happened in COVID era, since I have worked with the farmers very closely on ground, I got few calls from the farmers, and they were saying that it was very difficult to get a diesel in the COVID times because lockdown happened and they were not able to move out for diesel. So the moment you are not able to get the diesel for your diesel genset, that means you cannot run your electric water pumps which you used to run 4 to 5 hours a day. Hence, you are ready to invest of around 1,000 rupees a day to diesel, but you are not able to get it because of the lockdown situation. So I realized that this situation can occur in the future as well, and we have a huge dependency on diesel fossil fuel. And if you realize, being an agrarian economy, if all 65% population, the rural population, is dependent on fossil fuels such as diesel and firewood, that means we are not only contributing to the global warming, we are also dependent on that. So the expenditure is going, the environment is being harmed. So lots of negative impacts you can see in this particular activity, which is a part of the lifestyle of any farmer or a rural household. So I decided, why not club renewable energy for agriculture? And nobody's thinking about, if you talk about, even if you talk about agri-tech space, you will listen about lots of people working in the last mile deliveries, forward linkages, AI or ML techniques to find out or to save the money on the loss, food loss, the quality, even at the expos, or data analytics. But nobody is working on the renewable energy side for agriculture. So I thought there is a need, there is a demand, and let's club renewable energy for agriculture. And we decided to venture out AgriVijay. And I think since my mother is also coming with an experience of 30 plus years with the government of Rajasthan, we decided to why not venture it out and work in the Rajasthan state and Maharashtra state with the farmers dedicatedly for renewable energy for agriculture, because understanding the energy needs of farmers has never been done. Nobody has actually thought about it. What is the energy need of a farmer? If I need a 5 kilowatt of energy to run my electrical or agriculture equipment, I need that energy. And if I'm not getting that energy, my agriculture activity gets it suffers. So I think that that's the vision we decided to have a platform where farmers can actually go and talk about the energy needs, and they can have all the products which are meant for agriculture in terms of renewable energy on a single platform, which is not there. If you go in the market, even Amazon doesn't sell a solar water pump or a biogas system. So that's the beauty of AgriVijay as a startup and as a platform.
And how are you solving this problem in a from a technology standpoint? What is the underlying technology you are using?
So what has happened is, if you see renewable energy startup space, lots of renewable energy startups have come, but they have failed to scale and grow despite the innovation has been good and a very, you can say, technologically very advanced. The reason is that many founders or many technical people who become founders of that particular renewable energy technology or a startup, they are not a commercial people to sell it or the pitch it right way to farmers or to any consumer per se. So when I started my journey as a India sales head for my previous company, Systema.bio, as a biogas company, I realized when I joined there, I found that like we were sitting on zero sales. And when you sit on a zero sales, you know that biogas is a product which is not being sold in the country as a product. So we decided I will venture out biogas as a product just like an LPG, because farmer consider LPG as a product. He goes and buys LPG cylinder. He consider firewood as a product. He goes and collect the firewood or buy the firewood. So until and unless biogas becomes as a product in that line, we cannot pitch it. So when I did that, I was able to sell or have a base of around 6,000 biogas digesters in India in B2B and B2C. So I realized there is a potential. The only thing is we are not pitching the product right. The product is right, the technology is right, and we have lots of innovators and startups in India. You will find ample of people innovating in solar drying, solar water pumps, biogas digesters, biogas slurry makers, managers. So these products exist. It's just that they never reach to the last mile farmer because there is a gap of understanding. So the conversation has never happened. So I think what technologically, if you talk about, we are inclined towards it. We want these startups, these technologies, these innovations to be available for these farmers, and to make them available. So what we are doing is we are partnering with lots of startups and companies, and with our marketing intelligence, we are developing content and the conversation around it, so that farmer can actually talk about it. Because until and unless you are not having a conversation about renewable energy, you will never understand what is my energy need and how to fulfill it. And climate change is a far goal which can only be attained if you become an energy renewable energy producer and a consumer at the same time. So that's the whole conversation if you talk about technology perspective in terms of agriculture.
Now I would like to understand how it all started. Like, how did you find the right people to take this vision forward, and what were the initial set of activities you did to build this venture?
So I think initially when we started, we wanted few of the flagship products to be listed on the platform. So biogas and solar water pump were my priority if you talk about. So we reached out to companies and startups, and there were since I have worked in the industry for long, people know me, and people actually have a confidence in me that I'll be able to sell it. If nothing happens, at least I'll be able to sell it, because it doesn't make sense if you're not able to sell it. Listing is just not the task we wanted to do as a startup. So the challenge was, since nobody has jumped into the renewable energy, because renewable energy comes with a challenge of not only selling but also implementing. So you can sell a solar water pump, but still you need to install it and run it. So even if you sell a biogas digester, you need to install it and run it. So I think that's why lots of agri-tech startups or lots of companies do not jump into that also. And if you talk about us, we have actually taken a courage and bravery act of not just selling it but also implementing it with our technical team. So we started onboarding solar water pump companies. We started with Amrut Energy, Shakti Pumps, Crompton, Pluga, Vari. So we onboarded these solar water pump companies on our platform, and we also started with biogas companies such as Swachh Gas, Toyota, Aisin. Since I've worked with Toyota, Aisin in their biogas project, we got exclusively signed. We had an agreement with them to sell their biogas project with Toyota Aisin generator Corimo in India. So we onboarded these companies, 9 to 10 companies, and we built a platform. And we started we launched the AgriVijay in December as a commercial entity in the market, and we started generating revenue and sales. We started discussing with the farmers with support of incubators such as IndiGram, AAC, ADT, Baramati Foundation, and NIAM Agribusiness Incubator Jaipur, CCS NIAM. I think we were able to gauge the interest, and since we were recognized by Startup India also, we have actually grown in the industry. And since December, since we have won also certain awards, I think it gave us a boost and confidence also, and for the farmers as well, because the moment you get awarded by the industry people, the farmer also gets confidence that this company is growing and this company is actually listening to my energy needs and serving it.
Okay. Uh, what is the vision you have for this venture now that you have got some traction? I understand you be having funding as well. What is the vision forward? What you want to build out of this venture?
So the I would talk about the USP of AgriVijay. AgriVijay USP is just not selling and listing on the platform. We have a network of franchisee model, which is called as AgriVijay Renewable Energy Store. So nobody has done that till date. You will never find a renewable energy store on ground, and we have ventured out that. We have 17 renewable energy stores in just 4 months of our operation, commercial operations. I think that's the way out. We want to have these renewable energy stores as much penetrated in all the villages across the states we are working, so that whenever farmer has a need, has an energy need, and he wants to become energy independent and contribute to the climate change, increase his savings, he can just visit to that renewable energy store, discuss his energy needs, and get the product which matches his energy needs, whether it's a solar inverter or a biogas genset or a wind turbine. So he will discuss these his energy needs, and he will get his product not just getting sold but delivered and implement. So these renewable energy stores are actually the vision of AgriVijay. We want to have thousands of renewable energy stores across these states and villages in the future, and it will not only help the farmers become energy independent, but also the rural entrepreneurs, the local rural business owners, to venture out a different product category, which not only help them create their image, which is also good for the society but also for the environment, and the conscious of selling. See, everyone does business in terms of earning for bread and butter. Everyone does the business, but the moment you sell a product which is impacting the whole society or ecosystem, you actually have a conscious of getting into more and more deep into that business. I think that's kind of business renewable energy store model is, and we focus on that in the future to proliferate all the products across these states. Because if you visit any village today, even today, not even one farmer is aware of about the solar inverter or a biogas genset or a biogas digester. So the knowledge absence is huge. Until and unless this is resolved, you cannot sell a product, you cannot generate a demand.
Let's talk about recruitment. How do you find talent for your venture?
So, since I come from an agribusiness management background, I prefer people who are either BSc in agriculture or MBA in agribusiness, because if you don't understand farmer and agriculture, you will never understand how what are the pain points of the farmer and how we are resolving the pain points with renewable energy. So that's a priority. So we are recruiting people from agribusiness management colleges such as my own college, Symbiosis Institute of International Business, for internships. For final placements, we have hired people from various institutes such as Vamnicom and various agriculture institutes located in Baramati and in Maharashtra. Because we are working in that region, we are also hiring in Rajasthan from agriculture institutes in Bikaner and Jaipur.
What are the different challenges you have been facing or you have already faced while building and growing this venture?
So I think the biggest challenge is to because since it's a very niche market and it's a niche sector, and renewable energy has never been considered as part of the agri-tech ecosystem. Either it's a separate entity as a clean tech space or a green tech space, but when you club it from renewable energy with agriculture, it becomes the borderline of agri-tech and clean tech space. So I think the major challenge is to convince people around it. The investors are still observing it, and the people are still observing it. When we started, nobody believed that we will grow. Nobody believed that this idea is good or implementable. I think we have proved them wrong, and that gives us confidence also. The other challenge was in any renewable energy spaces having a skilled workforce, because you will never find a ready-made skilled force in the market. The people who have worked in the renewable energy, hence you have to hire people, train them, build them as a team, and make a skilled workforce specific to AgriVijay or any renewable energy or agri-tech startup. So that's the challenge, and we are working on that. We are hiring people. We are training rigorously every month on month and every week to the team we have hired. And we, whenever we hire, we I personally try to train them and build them as a skilled workforce. The challenges, I think, majorly, if you talk about in this, will be these two, and we are overcoming that by working hard, and we are actually pushing our limits to become a valuable agri-tech startup in this phase. And since we have grown in the COVID era, I think we have proved our mettle that if we can grow in COVID era, I think the things, when things are normal, we will grow to X times the expectations of the investors.
The speed of execution requires funding. Have you raised funds so far?
So we are completely bootstrapped as of now. Though we are in touch with lots of investors and venture capital firms, and they are actually witnessing the traction. And since it's COVID era, also we haven't grown much, but we have shown the signs of growth, especially in COVID times. So I think the investors are still waiting for some traction to come on board. Also, we are in touch with lots of angel investors. We are in conversations with them. So the funding can happen in next coming 6 months for sure. But we also want investor on board who is inclined towards agriculture and climate change, because that's our the soul of AgriVijay and the vision of AgriVijay. We have also been qualified by the RK Viva Raftar program for their seed grant scheme. So we also be receiving grants from that. We are also qualified for the seed funding from Atal Innovation Mission and Niti Aayog as a part of their program, since we are incubated at AAC Baramati Foundation. So we are receiving support from the government and the incubators we are incubated at. And I think we will manage the funds as of now with the grant and seed coming in. And considering since 6 months we will grow post COVID era to a good extent, I think we will raise some good funds as well for agriculture.
Did you pivot your business model along the way?
Yes. So we had a model in place on paper, but yes, there were 5 to 10% fine tuning when we implemented it. Definitely because every startup evolves also over the period of time, and I think we are now in a shape where we want to continue with that shape without any fine tuning. And since we have grown in COVID times, as I said, these are the most toughest or challenging times you can ever witness. So if you see or witness a growth in these challenging times, that means we have something that is allowing us to grow. So I don't want to now fine tune the model much. So we want to continue this model, and we want to replicate this everywhere we go.
Tell us about some instances where you have failed as an entrepreneur.
So considering every startup has their own hiccups, and what I feel, I would say, is since renewable energy in the initial stage requires a good amount of working capital, and since we are a bootstrap startup, I wanted to do and I wanted to implement certain things, and I wanted to have a skilled workforce in the initial space, because to have a good foundation you need a good team to have it on your side. So I think the major challenge which has come from me is on the funding side, because you need good money to hire good quality workforce. At least even if you have to train them, you need people who can actually grasp and learn fast, and that comes at a cost. And right now we cannot afford that. So I think I failed to impress the investors in the initial phase, because seed funding was I was looking at, considering the growth we have witnessed, and we have been awarded by FICCI, and we have won various awards as well. I was hoping that I will get a seed funding, but that has come as a challenge, and I think I have failed on that side, I would consider, because I was not able to impress investors and venture capitals in the initial stage, despite having a unique idea and being appreciated by the industry. So I think that's the failure, I would say. I won't rate it as a failure, but I would rate it as a learning come failure kind of a thing.
Can you give us some instances where you have witnessed compounding effect in your venture?
I think the franchising model, which we have talked, it has actually shown me a compounding effect all of a sudden. And I was just one day ago, I was discussing with one of the investor. We have 17 franchises in 4 months. That too spread it across in the states of Maharashtra and Rajasthan, and that too in villages. I think that has actually made me realize that we have some compounding effect on that front, and I think we want to replicate that in the future as well, because that's the growth trajectory AgriVijay is actually witnessing on ground.
So, Vimal, coming to the final question, I would like to understand what are the interesting lessons you have learned as an entrepreneur, which can shorten the learning curve of other entrepreneurs out there.
Okay, I think there are various learnings as an entrepreneur. I would say first is definitely persistence. If you are not having persistence, you should never become an entrepreneur, because you require certain elements. You can say you need a bravery to face the challenges, to face a no every day, to face a rejection. Because until unless you don't have the stamina or the capacity to face the rejection, I think you should not become an entrepreneur, because after becoming an entrepreneur you will face rejections from the clients, from the investors, from the team around. It will be difficult to retain talent and lots of stuff's happening. So you should never become an entrepreneur if you don't have the stamina to listen a no. The first thing is that. The second is, I would say, whenever you want to plan to become an entrepreneur, you are an entrepreneur, you should have a 12 months funds always kept in the kitty, because when you do that, you actually are prepared for a times like COVID. Because even if you are not generating any revenue or business, you have to feed your team, you have to maintain your team, and retain your team. So I think that those funds in the kitty will help you out. And the third is the entrepreneur life is a 24-month life. You cannot be an entrepreneur if you don't want to live a 24 by 7 life, because as an entrepreneur you have to work around with investors, with partners, with teams, everything. And if you are tied up with your 10 to 12 working lifestyle, I think it will be a challenge for you to make a startup which you want to grow to an speed you want to grow to become an unicorn in the future. So I
Uh,
think that will be my learnings.
well, thanks for the wonderful learnings and for sharing with us. It was a great pleasure to host you here at TLI. Thanks for your time, Vimal, and our best wishes for AgriVijay.
Thank you, Priya. Thank you so much for having me, and thank you, ALI team, for listening to me and propagating the visions of AgriVijay, which is empowering farmers with renewable energy. Thank you.